Hello there. You're welcome to the No Stand Zone podcast. As always, my name is Tiae. Good to have you here. If you're here, I have to be thinking that this is not your first time. You know what we're all about here. But if for the good reasons under the heavens and for miracles that happen, this is your first time in here, thank you very much for pressing play. Right here we have new ones conversations around the Nigerian music industry. We don't have any loyalty to anybody. Here is all about being honest. And if you're wondering why should I be listening to Tiae in the first place, well, I've been doing this for way too long, for over a decade, covering different parts of the Nigerian music industry, from the regular Afrobeats, pop, and all of that. I've also covered the Nigerian gospel industry as well, covering the details of that industry, which nobody is even talking like it even exists, and some of the nuances that on all the well, I don't want what language should I use? All the fun things. Let me use that happened in that industry, generally around the industry. I've been covering it for a long time, and I got to a place where I felt some of the conversations that we have here need to be had away from the internet and the standship and people who are just brain focused and loyal to certain artists. And I think some conversations slip through the cracks and are not being had. That's why this podcast exists. None of the things that happen here are being paid for or being motivated by loyalty to anybody. So if you're of that same mindset as well, open to conversations, open to different perspectives, then you're in the right place. Thank you very much for being here today. Please do not forget that we have a YouTube channel set up. I'm saying I have a YouTube channel set up. All right. It's the No Stand Zone podcast on YouTube. So if you miss any of the shows on the podcast, you can always go to YouTube. I post short clips, short videos of some of the things we've talked about on the show, as well as a full length video of the whole show as well. It's not one where you get to see me. We're working on that, but right now it is all about just putting out the content and having these conversations. I think that's kind of like the most important thing right now, and we'll get to the fun stuff where we'll be able to have more interactions, I can promise you, later in the future. But for right now, it is all about the conversations that I think need to be had. All right. If you missed last week's episode, man, it was fun. It was fun. Yes. A lot of reviews of albums like I do every week. I try to listen to some of the albums that come out and give my takes on this project, not just from a head knowledge of, this project knack or this project no knack. It also comes from, I also have a rich music background, so a lot of things the reviews that people give of internet on the internet about albums, some of them just lacks the concrete or lacks like substance, right? It's not just if you're able to dance then it's good. It's not just if it has one hit song then it's good. There's a lot more to putting music together. I mean, than just if you're able to make people dance, if the beats knack, or if someone can sing, then I think there's way more to all of that. So I pay attention with that background as well. While listening to some of these projects, right? So if you missed last week's pod, it was all about Fireboy's new project, Ademola. Really, I don't want to say fun stuff, but I also talked about the decline in the Nigerian music, the decline in Nigerian quality of Nigerian albums. And I'll touch on a little bit on that because of some new information that I also found out this week. We'll expand a little bit on that. I talked about Remo's concert last week, and then I also touched on Cray on the Maven, one of the Maven crew, going out there and fooling himself by some of the information he was putting out there. So also talked about some of the new singles that came out last week, DJ Neptune and Bayani. With Bani Aruga, DJ Neptune with King Madi as well. Okay, so what have I got for you this week? Let's dive straight into that. So like I promised a few minutes ago, last week we're talking about the decline in the quality of Nigerian music, Nigerian albums over time. Of all the mainstream artists, I haven't necessarily seen, or most of them are not releasing albums that are better than what they've given us before. I mean, evidence, case number one, Fireboy. This album is probably his least um in talking about quality and direction and just how splendid of an artist we know he is, and the project he has been putting out, this is like the least in quality so far. We look at Ashake. Lungu Boy, which just came out, is the least of the best of the best that he's come out with. This Lungu Boy is nowhere close to better than Work of Art. No, it's not even close to Mr. Money with the Vibe as well. So do you see that do you see the trend as well with folks like Butter Boy, who just released I told them it is not better than any of the albums from Love Damini to African Giant to any of the albums he has released in the past. Do you see what I'm telling you? There is a decline from there is a decline with this artist. Rema just released an album as well. The album he just released is way below par as a body of work than Raven Roses. I mean, I think that's what they call Raven Roses, right? It's nothing compared to that. Ira Star just released an album as well that is nothing compared to 19 and Dangerous, and her first album as well. Thames just released an album. It is not as good as any of the EP she has released in the past. Do you guys see what is happening here? There is obviously, in my opinion, from the mainstream artists, at least the one that are forward facing of the Nigerian music industry today, there is a decline in the output. Like, it is not even hard to see here, right? It is not hard to see here. We're not impressed. There's nothing new. Let me share this with you real quick. I saw a tweet. It's been a while I saw this. I actually saved it. And I was going through my phone again. And then I saw this tweet. And it just brought back memories. And it just kind of connects to kind of what I want to share. Like currently what we're talking about, this decline in the albums, right? Shout out to this guy. His name is @the_Ahmed. I'll probably tag him to this because this is a brilliant tweet. He actually put out this tweet sometime last month. Yeah, this looks like 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or so. And this tweet, very simple, but it's just absolutely brilliant. You guys come with me. The tweet says, and he's describing something here, so just follow me. This is how the tweet goes, and I quote. It says, "Drop new music, bash Afrobeats, shade other artists, claim to be in your own special lane, in brackets, Afro something, rinse and repeat." Basically, that is the formula artists are using today to release projects. There is nothing creative coming out. I mean, in the promotion of projects, now, I'm not even interested in how artists promote their music today, right? That doesn't even bother me. If you release a video, if you do all the shenanigans, all that does not even work for me because I know what I'm looking for in a project. I know what a good project should sound like. By the way, you guys should go check out SDC and Caveman and David Insikak. I think that's his name. They just No Love in Lagos. Incredible project in the top 2 of my favorite projects this year. Top 2. My favorite projects this year that have come out. These pop artists are failing real bad. And I saw this tweet, and thank goodness I saved it, right? So it says, "Drop new music, bash Afrobeats, shade other artists, claim to be in your own special, inventor of one new sound, and then rinse and repeat." Nobody's music is speaking for itself anymore. It's all about how can you create buzz. Now, I'm not talking about an upcoming artist, right? I'm talking about mainstream artists. Their music is not speaking for itself anymore because the music is declining. So they're relying heavily on promotions to speak for them. No artist today can amongst of these artists that I've released now, so far, none of them are just giving us a project and just let the project speak for itself. I saw a Fireboy now with one of these white girls on the internet doing an interview. It's like, I'm tired, honestly. It's like, the music, and the music is not about us anymore. That's what I think. Everyone is they're trying to sell this music to a certain audience, and then they are losing the essence of it, right? And I met like a Fireboy is a perfect example of that. Another example of that is Burna Boy himself, who went ahead to release a hip hop album. I cannot in my mind fathom that it will not even happen that Bad Bunny, who is I think of Puerto Rican origin, would release an album that is not like that doesn't have the Spanish element to it and the vibe, the beat to it, and decide after all that success he had in 2001, 2002 or so, he decides to throw that outside and give a more Western-leaning album. I cannot even imagine what the backlash would be like and how he would just lose all that he got a few that year. But no, you can't. Our own artists, they would throw away the essence of their music just to present themselves to some foreign audience that is not the crux or is not the substance of their support in the first place. And it's amazing. It's not like I didn't even know this lineup. And as simple as it is, right? It's not like I didn't know, but this just seeing it in black and white just adds a lot more context to it. Just makes it even clearer. Because everyone who releases a song today is claiming to do something that has never been done before. And I know you probably heard me talk about this, but I think it cannot be overemphasized that our artists are losing their essence. They're losing their, like, it's like, why do you have to do that every single time? Why do you have to come out and say you're starting a new movement? Why do you have to say you're creating a new sound? And I don't, I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. To me repeating myself. Genres exist for a reason. And this is the problem with following the internet and allowing the internet, which is just filled with most people, you don't even know them, they know absolutely nothing. Allowing the internet to control the direction of art. This is basically what is happening. Folks are allowing the internet, what the internet thinks, to control the direction of their art. There is no reason why what's his name? Mr. Money with the Vibe, Ashake, there is no reason why he should be trying to give us something out of the ordinary, something to be creatively thinking of something else. If you have something that works for you, work with people that can build on that. The Amapiano that folks, that I think he fell for the pressure, that folks are clowning him for, say, oh, he's still doing Amapiano or whatever, that's what he's relying on, and the long drums. There is a genre where every artist who is under that genre, that is all they do. That is all they release. Every album is got that, like, that is a whole genre. So I'm wondering why folks are just so quick to fall to the pressure of the internet instead of staying true to yourself. Stay true to combining your Fuji with and just stay true. There was no international featuring with Mr. Money with the Vibe, one of the classic albums in the past, 5 years? One of the classic albums out there that has come out recently. There was no trying to get some international feature. It was just you doing you, being real to yourself and giving us you. And it's a classic. But all of a sudden, and that music got you way left, right, center, the length and breadth of the world. Why is it then that after this success, you feel that you need to connect to some international whatever to get recognized? Like, I don't understand. Your music, without the international influence, got you here. So why not stay true to who you are? Right? And then this desire to bash every other artist. It's like, so you can be the what? The forward facing, the forward, the one, the what? The for back to the foreigners, who the foreigners see as, oh, and because those ones are ignorant and know nothing, whatever artist shows up at their doorsteps for an interview, they look at them as, oh, this guy's probably the face of the genre, because they don't know any better. So they can go there and say anything they want to say, and those ones will take it hook, line, and sinker. Folks just need to be creative. And if the creativity is not coming, let your music speak for itself. Go out there and give us something. Stay true to yourself. Telling me, the Fireboy telling me he cannot give us that album, think he cannot give us any album like the previous ones because he's richer now. Not that he has grown, not that he has evolved, not that he's trying whatever, but because he's no longer he has more money, so he cannot give that kind of project again. You guys see how silly that sounds, right? Moving on real quick, let's talk about some of the new music that came out this week. So last week I talked about DJ Neptune and King Madi, new song out, Honest, brilliant single. King Madi, Salute to the Lady. I didn't even know that DJ Neptune had an album coming out. So apparently the song with King Madi is one of the singles in the album. So this past Friday, I just went to like new releases and stuff like that, and here it is. I saw another single, DJ Neptune and Ademola Lookman Ballon. I was like, wait, is there an album here? I went on Twitter and I saw the post of him saying, oh, he's got an album out. So of course, I went straight in to see what this project is about. And the album is titled Greatness 3. So he's been doing this for a minute. Greatness 2.0 was in 2021. I had folks like Laycon, Mr. Easy, YJ Ladipo, Black Bones, Pato Ranking. He's like the way the projects have been going recently. He just brings together a couple of incredible artists, works with them, and then puts out a project. The 2.0 had a smash hit titled Nobody with Joe Boy and Mr. Easy. Definitely one of the probably his biggest song till date. I mean, we're just talking about impact, right? Most likely his biggest song till date. The song, I think that he had a whole like project with that song. Like he released different versions of it. I think with the Hausa version, the what's it called, the acoustic version, one with the piano. It had a couple of guys work on it. The extended playlist, the worldwide remixes, right? He had the Canadian remix, the Middle East remix, the Icons remix, Latin remix, a piano remix. He had the French remix, Hausa Boys, dancehall. Like he actually milks. I love this. He had the Igbo Boys rap remix, like a whole 13 track of worldwide remixes. This was brilliant, and I actually did like the Hausa remix on this one. The French remix also sounded really good. And then the remix of the original song had Lake on it, also really, really decent. I think it was just really interesting to hear what folks from other parts of the world could actually do on an Afrobeat song, right? On an Afrobeats beat, right? A Nigerian beat. And it was just really interesting, right? Really, really interesting to hear this, to hear. And one of my favorite one, like I mentioned, the Hausa Boys remix was really, really very decent. The Trinidad remix, you guys should go check it out. This was a good listen. I remember listening to this a few years ago. It was a really interesting remix. I really enjoyed it. So Nobody was definitely the hit from that project. And then the original, I think Greatness, let me see if I can find Greatness number one, maybe the first one. 2018, the first one titled Greatness had Emma Abaga and some other incredible artists, Malik Berry, Kiss Daniel, and it must have been interesting to way at the beginning sort of some of this artists' career at the time, 2018. Having Bono, this is interesting. So in 2018, he had a song titled Shayo with Burna Boy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So in 2018, he had a song with Burna Boy titled Shayo. 2023? This 2022, 2023, last year was the when Shayo was, no, 2022 was when Shayo was popular. And then 2024, in Greatness 3, my favorite song on this album turns out to be DJ Neptune and Kid Cudi on the song titled Shayo. Look at that. Look at that trifecta of information right there. Oh my gosh. I should put this out and ask DJ Neptune, which is his favorite Shayo at this point. This is fun. This is fun stuff. Just diving into this. You're not gonna get this anywhere else than right here on the No Stand Zone podcast. You guys should watch out for that tweet. I'm gonna reach out to DJ Neptune, who, by the way, let me say, I really respect him. He's done great in the industry. And as you guys know, my criticism of anybody's work or art, nothing personal, is strictly on the, like, based on the music and nothing else. And I actually put out a tweet for one of my admiration of one of the singles on this track, and he actually responded or liked and shared the post as well. So shout out to him for doing that. Since I've already talked about this, let me go ahead and talk about some of the high notes on this album for me. One of them, like I just mentioned, track 12, DJ Neptune, Kid Cudi, the song titled Shayo I don't want to say it's not my favorite. I won't say it's my favorite because I will be betraying my girl, King Madi. Honest has to be my favorite track, has to be my favorite song on this album, then followed for sure by DJ Neptune, Kid Cudi, Shayo, Bienvenue, DJ Neptune, Ruga. This is a song that had come out a few months ago. I didn't know it was going to be on this project. It was good to see that. Interesting listen. Also, I mean, it had a bunch of artists, had Ice Prince, at Ademola Hustlers. The project also had Joe Boy, Savage, Eriga, Sade. So with the high points of this to the side, the high points meaning I really enjoyed one or two songs, 3 songs in this project. The one with Kid Madi, Honest, the one with Kid Cudi, Shayo, the one with Ruga, Bienvenue. I would say that is where the good of this album kind of ends for me. Generally, this album felt like a couple of singles just come together. See, it felt like these artists, like for example, let me just use a random example. It felt like this song, for example, the one, track 7, Wait For You with Sounds, felt like Sounds just came and said, bro, stick my song with this, stick and put them inside here. It felt like this individual artist just came with their songs, gave it to DJ Neptune, and he just put it in this project. That was what it sounded like to me. It sounded like a bunch of individual singles. It didn't sound very cohesive to me in any way. And 85% of this project was very, very dull, very, I would say, very lazy from some of these artists. It felt like there wasn't any effort. in some of these tracks. Like some of them I could not even listen to the end. It was really hard to listen to some of this. It sounded very immature. Like this artist needed to go back and kind of find themselves, find something that will make them stand out, right? You needed to find out who you are as an artist. What makes you you? What makes you different from every other artist, right? Then be featured here. I'm surprised, right, that there is a song as good as Honest, and there on this track, like you heard Honest, right? And then some of these artists, when they dropped their verse on some of these beats, I'm shocked DJ Neptune let any of them fly. Mine would have been like, the standard is King Madi Honest. Any song less than that, it's not working. But it's shocking to me. That was the shocking part. How do you have a song as good as King Madi, and some of the songs on this project, how did they even get in? So after all the whole project was put together, right, and DJ Neptune and his team and whoever was listening to this whole thing, how did they listen to King Madi and the Kid Kada and the Ruger feature, and how did they? That was I think those three songs, high bar. How is it that any of these other songs made it? For me, this track One Normal Day should not have been on this project. All due respect to High Spring, Magneto, and everyone featured on this project, it wasn't it. It wasn't it. Because I was listening to it and I was like, oh my God, is this what this whole project is going to be? Because I'm wondering, how is this the first song on this project? This could have turned someone off. It could have turned someone off from even diving into this whole project. And then too much with Ajabo Hustlers didn't raise the bar, didn't raise the standard, right, to where eventually you would hear a King Madi feature. And then for me, the next track featuring Savage and Erica was a downward. From that, it's like you see a diamond in the rough. That was what it's like, the speck of light in, I don't want to say darkness, but it kind of, because it would sound so terrible, but it's just sounded like this one good song out of this whole thing. So in fact, the moment when I was listening to it, and I was like, okay, and then I listened to the Joe Boy, I was like, okay, maybe. And then I listened to King Madi, I was like, okay, because I already know that one. It sounded really good. And then just to go down and down for me, it went down again, up until I got to my man, Kid Kada. The moment the song started, I was like, there was a snap, like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just the melodies alone, the music, not even the beat. Because most of these beats, they sounded really good. But it was just like the overall music. The way it started, I was like, oh no, please, Kid Kada, do justice to this thing. Do justice to this thing. The moment I heard it, just the beginning, I was like, no. You got to do justice. And Kid Kada just slammed this one for me. The production, the arrangement of this track, which is brilliant, right? And then right after that is the Ruger song, right? And then it ends for me also on a down low. You guys know how I feel about Bayani and how I think I really think he's a talented artist. But in the last song, Forever, it was like he just blended in and he didn't stand out there to let me know, okay, this is me, I'm here, this is my verse, I'm gonna, I'm laying it down to let you know I'm special. So when you hear, you can be, oh, Bayani, yeah, that's Bayani's verse. It's probably, yeah, he killed it. I expect nothing less. But it was like he just blended in. I was like, wait, has Bayani even dropped his verse or not? It kind of sounded like to me. Right? So I think the most shocking part is, how do you have songs that good in this project and some of the other songs made it on? How did you guys listen to it and then let any of the other songs in? This project should have been, this is 14. Should have been 10. For me. Personally, should have been 10. 4 comfortably songs that I could point out and say should not have been on this project. Easy. So there just have been 10. And then out of that 10, you have 4 really good ones. Will have been a decent one. Had Kid Cudi, had Ruger, had King Madi, probably have the Joe Boy one. That's 4 solid tracks out of 10. And then you would have been talking about maybe a C, but now this is a low C, man. It's like a D at this point on this project for me. Right? I feel like there's so many ways that this project could have been better. So many ways. If you have artists setting a standard, that should have been a standard for this whole project. If it meant hearing the King Madi verse, you know what Joe Boy has done, you know what Ruger has done, it's like, no, we're redoing this thing, or we're cutting this project to an EP. Do something. I mean, it's you don't have to release an album, man. An album is not always necessary. Or you can call it an album and give us 10 tracks, basically. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on this album. 1 or 2 songs that I really, really love, but a whole bunch of others that should not have been on this project, way below par of what the greatness, will I say, trilogy at this point, because this is number 3. I mean, how it has come down to the greatness 1, 2, and 3. This one is definite greatness. 3 is definitely the lowest in it quality, like just grabbing attention, quality of music, overall cohesiveness of a project, and all of that. Greatness 3 is not doing justice. And all due respect to DJ Neptune, I mean, you're an artist yourself. You can understand that this is nothing, absolutely nothing personal, right? This is just my take on it. And, yeah, man. But, man, King Madi, song Honest, Kid Cudi, slamming. I've been listening to this song over and over and over again this week. Right, just the melody. There's something in it. There was a melody that the producer picked from his verse. There's this notes, these 2 notes, right? That the melody that was in the verse, that Kid Cudi dropped, that the producer just held on to throughout the whole song. That I was hearing it and I was like, it's like you hear a sweet. It's like you have a you have a spice, right? And then the spice is not like it's on the side where you take it and you take your food and you dip it in the spice, right? But then they take the spice and put it in the whole food. And it's not too much, but it's just, the spice is just there, tingling underneath the meal, where every spoon you take, you can feel the spice. It's around everywhere. Wherever you take the spoon, the bite from, whatever you dip your spoon, whatever part of the pot you dip your spoon, you can feel that tingling sound, that tingling taste, right? Is how I felt while listening to this Sayo. Man, this is me just nerding out, right? Music, anyone who's a music person probably will be able to understand what I'm trying to get at here. But man, this was just overall a beautiful song, well put together, I would say. But I stay loyal to my lady King Madi. Probably the high note of, for sure, the high note of this song. And I remember when this one with Ruger came out as a single, a few months back. A few people didn't like it. But actually did. For me, Ruger can do no wrong. Almost can do no wrong at this point. He understands who he is. He has an identity, and he slams it into every feature that he gets in. Whatever how the beat sounds, he stamps his identity on it. And that's why I commended Bayani for standing his ground in the feature they had together that was released last week, right? Because he's one person that can stamp his identity and his voice and his charisma on a song. So if you're coming in featured with him, he can overshadow you on your song where he drops his own verse, and then folks are like, wait, who's the artist that even featured him? right? And that's why I commended Bayani for standing his ground, because Bayani also sounded incredible on that feature as well. So yeah, that's my kind of like my 2 cents, on this project. Obviously, could have been better for sure. Um, yeah. So I didn't hear any other singles this week, or I didn't listen to any other projects this week that I think I really want to share with you. If there's any project out there you guys think I should listen to, please do not hesitate to share with me. Tag me. It's at Tiae Sound, at Tiae Sound. Just know that once I listen to it, it's gonna be backed by a music nerd listening to a song. Is what some of my takes are gonna be. That also gonna be someone who just loves good vibes as well, someone who can be technical as well. I'm not falling for internet shenanigans, so whatever the internet thinks about projects, I don't even care, right? So they're gonna be my honest takes on this project. It is never personal here with me. It is never personal. I don't know you. You don't know me. It is, you put out your music, a part of your soul. You put that in a, or you put it on the DSPs along with your collaboration with producers and all of that. You put it out. I'm gonna share some of my thoughts with you, and I think every artist needs to be prepared for that. If you keep it in your bedroom, yeah, nobody gets to talk about it. But if you put it out there, yeah, you open yourself up for people to share their takes on your project. And I think if the takes are not personal, right? If they're just based solely on the art, the music, and all of that, it's easy to listen to that, and you can take it or not. But you can, if you decide to take it in, you can see it as, oh, this is something I need to work on, or, oh, thank you very much. I really worked on getting that out, and I'm very glad that you also felt the energy that I was trying to bring out. Like, so whatever the case is, whether it was positive or it could be better, you can take it in because it's not personal. And I know artists out there, because the music is a part of you, there is a tendency to see a criticism of your art as a criticism of you. But don't see it that way. I know, I'm sure when you sit back, relax, think about it for a few days before you either tweet or or react to some of what we think about your music, you'll feel bad. You think you probably might see where we're also coming from as well, because you cannot, like, sometimes you cannot see yourself, right? You might not be able to hear yourself, right? And it sometimes might be helpful for people to hear your art and kind of give you their feedback on that. Some of you like internet and false ideas, false feedback, but it's healthy. Whether positive or can be better, whatever you get back, it's good that it's not just from people who don't know what they're saying, or people who just have like a vendetta against you as an artist, which is what most of the internet is doing nowadays to artists out there, and I feel for them, right? So with me, it is never personal. Take that to the bank. I've been doing this long enough. I don't know most people out there, okay? So what else do I want to dive into this week? I don't think I have any other project. Oh yeah, any other project. I don't have any other project, but I just want to share with you real quick. This past week, something just popped into my mind, and I remembered one of the legends today who's still doing music, by the way. His name Wande Coal, one of the legends today. I just remembered, I don't know what was happening that made me remember him and his project from last year. And I remember that I was on a Twitter space last year when he released this project titled Legend or No Legend, which is ridiculous of a project to put out, by the way, because you're a legend, which, like, already. So putting that out, the title already kind of like, bro, what are you getting at, right? And for someone who is just ridiculously talented, I'm talking top 5 artists to ever come out of Nigeria, top 5 easily to ever come out of this industry. some of my takes on the project sounded very, very like off the cuff, sounded almost personal for people who were giving me feedback. I remember I was on the Twitter space last year, and I had not started this podcast at the time. And it was the summer of last year. I was giving my take on this album and how disappointed I was, how extremely disappointed I was. And I remember that I had not shared that with you on the show. And I decided to do that. And I will be doing that every once in a while, where I will share some of my thoughts on past projects with you as well. So you can kind of get, understand my mindset and understand how I review projects. And so, I mean, when we understand each other, I think it makes for better, if you know where I'm coming from, it makes for better understanding, if for lack of a better word. If you understand what my thinking is, it makes you understand where I'm coming from whenever I analyze projects. And even if you don't agree with me, or you have criticisms to of what I have said in the past, you know that, this is his way of looking at projects. This is how he evaluates projects and things like that, right? So that is the goal here. And I'm going to be sharing some of this with you. You guys, I just started the podcast this year, February this year. How many months already? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 8 good months. 8 good months, right? So I'm going to be sharing with you, just doing some sort of like a step back to my thoughts on projects that have been released in the past, and then share some of my experiences with this artist, not personally, but what their music have meant to me. And Wande Coal is one of them. Let me not go on and on. So he released the project last year, Legend or No Legend. I remember on that space, shout out to Emmanuel on the Afrobeats to the world, everything they're doing there. You guys know how I feel about them, and I respect what they do there, but it's not just for me, right? So I remember I excoriated him, like, because of how much he actually means to me as an artist. What Wande Coal means to me. I remember how pissed off I was because he has created such a standard, and what his music has meant to me. I could not believe that he would release a project that like this bad. Let me share with you this particular experience I remember this week while thinking about Wande Coal. Wande Coal has this song titled Close to You. Let me see the year it actually came out. My bad. Let me check out the year. Let me check the year this song actually came out. Because if you guys know if you guys know how like I went crazy over this song. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. It should be like really easy to find, right? Close to You. And I think is the Mohits. I think it's from the Mohits. Oh yeah. Why does it keep going away? I want to get the year it came out. Okay, yeah. Close to You, 2011. Is this the one? Oh no, it's not the one. Wait, hold on. I need to find this song for you guys to understand for you to understand kind of how I feel here. Unfortunately, I cannot find this song. This is crazy. This is crazy. And it's like this song is not even on DSPs. I have to go on YouTube. So you guys should go on YouTube and click Close to You by D'banj and Mohits All Stars. Like, I cannot find the song on DSPs. I'm going through them now, and I'm shocked I don't even see the Close to You that I see. It's another song entirely that is there. So, but yeah, this song, you guys go on YouTube and check out the song by D'banj and the Mohit All Stars was D'banj and Wande Coal on this song, Close to You. You guys cannot understand. You guys cannot understand. Basically, I remember then I was in college at the time this song came out. And I'm seeing here from at least that album is like the album came out in 2009. I was in college at the time, university at the time. And I remember that I didn't have a laptop to listen to the song. You guys have to remember in 2009, it's not like anyone could, if you have a phone, you can just have access to all the songs in the world. There were no DSPs and YouTube wasn't even like really a thing. Like internet wasn't even as strong as it is now. And we're talking about in Nigeria. So you guys can understand how it is, right? I remember that I skipped class. I think it was a 2-hour class, just so I can have access to someone's computer and listen to this song, Close to You, for 2 hours on repeat. You guys don't understand. This was before DSPs. So I played the song on someone's computer on VLC, which at the time was the best like application to use to play movies, even if it's like pirated movies or pirated songs or whatever, it would at least try and play it. And I remember that I skipped school class so I could have access to someone's computer, put the song on repeat, and literally lose my mind for 2 hours listening to Wande Coal sing that chorus. I could feel it in my soul. I wanna be close to you, wanna be close to you, wanna be close to you. Oh, you guys cannot understand. That song with Wande Coal was a connection. It's like a string of my connection with Wande Coal. So every time, it wasn't bumper to bumper. It wasn't, oh my God, Ololufe Jo, oh my God. Nah, it wasn't that one. It was his chorus on Close to You that makes me have this connection with Wande Coal. And if you had not heard this song before, please go listen to it. You might not feel what I felt at the time because, man, there was nobody with that vocal prowess in the whole of the Nigeria. Nobody before, and I can tell you that there's nobody after now still with anyone close to Wande Coal's vocal prowess, like strength vocally, like just, you know how to manipulate, just the skill. Wande Coal, there has never been an artist like Wande Coal before. He's one of one in the whole Nigeria industry from the beginning of whenever our industry is. I don't even need to know what the history is. He is that special of an artist. Sometimes it doesn't look like it because of what the industry looks like today, and because so many things beyond anybody's, control. He would be seen as, he will be put on a pedestal. And knowing all of that and seeing how much I treasure him as an artist and how I feel about him, when I heard that album last year, it was like I was going through a breakup. Literally, that was how I felt like. It was like I was going, it's like someone, like a lady told me, we're done, was how I felt. I was disappointed. I was like, how? How is it that you're giving me this? You're so much better than this. Even in your sleep, you can do better than this. So the fact that you were awake and alert and you gave me this, I felt so disappointed. Like someone close to me let me down. Is how I felt about this legend, not a legend project. He is that special to me. He means that much to me as an artist, that when I heard that project, it was also like a shock to me as well. It wasn't just like, oh, the project wasn't good. It was more like I was shocked that he could do that. And outside of that, he has given us mad songs in the past. I'm talking about Iskapa. Again, he had given this was even after the project. He had given so many people features in the past that he's killed. He has also given Wizkid one of his most impressive songs lately with the song Ololufe. Like, this dude, he's him. And so that album just felt like I was let down. And it felt like say I sabi the guy. I don't know him. I've never met him. I don't know him. I was so disappointed about this project. At the same time, I think when all of the emotions kind of calmed down and I just went back to some of the songs, just reminded me of why I actually love him and kind of validated my emotions. Because at the point I was feeling like how probably that was too much. Because I remember people were, when I was expressing some of my disappointment about the album on that Twitter space last year, some people were shocked at how, like, my voice, it was so strong, right? And even after all of that emotions came down, a few days later, I went back to some of the songs that makes me love him as an artist and just makes me treasure him as an artist. And I was like, it's validated. There's no way you should have given us a project like this. You're way better. Way better. Even if Wande is not trying, he's still one of the best to ever do it. He's still one of the best to ever do it. Legend today, legend yesterday, he's a legend forever. I'm not sure if we would ever have any other artists like Wande Coal anytime soon. Because I know he's still going to give us a project, and I really hope he's working on something. I don't want to say maybe he didn't take it seriously. Like, he should actually take this one, take it seriously. Because he still has it. The thing is, there's the song with Wizkid, Ololufe, which tells me he still got it. One day he still got it. So I hope from the bottom of my heart that he drops another project soon. And the thing is, one project is not the end of an artist. One project does not solidify or say one person is, trash or, or not, or something like that, right? I don't mind if he gives me a project like the one from 2020 titled Rems, right? Where he just gave me 7 songs, right? Where I could just listen to him. There's Odelo there's the Again remix with Wale. There's Check, right? I mean, I could just listen to that again. Just give me that. And the thing is, with Wande, because he's so talented vocally, the song doesn't have to be like a hit for you to just love hearing his voice, for you to just love what he does, because he will delete, his history tells us that he will just deliver something. You just want to hear him sing. And it's natural. Like, this guy, I've seen videos of him just smoking. I'm sure he drinks as well. But none of those things touch his vocals. And for me, someone who grew up singing and vocal training, there were times where I cannot sing 6 o'clock in the morning because it's too early. My voice isn't there yet. I cannot even sing. But it looks like this guy wakes up from his sleep and he's able to hit some notes and do some manipulations. And I'm like, what the freaking heck? He's so talented. In the famous words of Nice, photocopy or easy. And I think if there is if there's one artist that kind of describes, is Wande Coal. There hasn't been any like him in the past. There isn't none like him now. I'm not sure when we will ever have an artist that has impacted the industry as much as he has. He has inspired a lot of what we are seeing in the industry today, all the R&B, whatever feeling, so feel that people have into their songs. All of that is from Wande Coal. The way you're able to mix your pidgin with your Yoruba, with your English, and it still sounds good. All of that is Wande Coal. If you remember, I mentioned last pod or 2 pods ago, diction. Your diction when you're singing certain songs, because of the genre of the songs you're singing, he understands that. This is not guy where they speak pidgin, they speak Yoruba. He's English, no, don't. But when he's giving you that R&B, he's able to drop it the way it should be dropped. Because you're not going to use you should not, use your pidgin accent or your Yoruba accent or your Nigerian English accent to sing some songs. It just wouldn't go. Wande understands that. On their basic level, like vocals 101, singing 101, he understands that. And he's been doing it for years. Like a really long time. I'm talking about at least 15 years now. This man has been here for a long time, man. Yeah, I just needed to share that. I just needed to share that with you, man. I just needed to share that with you to just kind of do a step back to some of the projects that I have, like reviewed in the past, just, for us to catch up and kind of understand each other is why I did that. If there is a song by Wande Coal, if you have such an experience with him as well, where there's a song that connects you to him, you want to share that with me, just tag me on social media. It's at Tiae Sound, Tiae Sound. Or No Stand Pod on Twitter as well, or send me a Gmail on email. It's nostandpod@gmail.com. Let me know what your kind of connection with Wande Coal as an artist is. It would be interesting to know if you have any experience like I do. It would be interesting to hear yours as well. All right, that rounds up the music taste. I've got more. We've got the Beyond the Zone. Yeah, Beyond the Zone, where we talk about things happening outside of the Nigerian music industry. I've got about 2 or 3 of them this week that, we just pepper my mind where I see on the internet, like, hey, what is happening? Kilon Shele. Like, hey, who did it? What is happening? Who is in misbehaving out there? Beyond the Zone, talking about stuff outside of the music. All right, so I think the biggest news this past week in Nigerian football is the fact that Ademola Lookman, yes, he has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. For you who do not know what that is, or you don't follow football as much, this is the highest award in football. It's done every year. Basically, it's like the world best, whoever is the world best player. And Ademola Lookman, along with other players this year, has been nominated for the 2024 Ballon d'Or. He's the only African nominee this year. I mean, some other players have been nominated in the past. I've even won it. Some like George Ware in the past, who was nominated, and also one, I think he's the only African player to ever win that. And he's also the first player to score a hat-trick in the UEFA Europa League final from last season. That was just brilliant. And for you to understand how important that hat-trick was, in the Europa League final, Bayer Leverkusen, who they were playing with in the final, had not lost in the competition. Basically, they had not even, maybe they lost only one game throughout last season. And probably, that was the game they lost. And so for him to score a hat trick in the final, and he plays for Atalanta, one of the upcoming teams, one of the teams to watch out for right now in Italy. And they were playing they were playing against Bayer Leverkusen, who is coached by Xabi Alonso, one of the shiny stars in coaching in recent years. And so it was just shocking. Atalanta was coming in as the underdogs. Most people were thinking Bayer Leverkusen have this on ground. Their football is beautiful to watch. They're well coached. They understand each other. A group of young players who play free-flowing football and can score easily, can find a way to win games. Whether they play good or not, they always find ways to win games. This was last season. And so to come into that final, Europa League final, and then score a hat-trick, 3 goals against such a powerhouse in Germany was a big deal, as well as performing extremely well for Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations. I mean, he has been through different clubs in England, from Everton to Leicester, before eventually landing in Atalanta. So, I mean, the man has been he's been through a lot. He was included in the AFCON team of the tournament, also UEFA Europa League team of the season. He helped Nigeria and Atalanta reach the finals of the AFCON as well as the Coppa Italia. They also reached the finals in Italy. He's the first African player to score a hat-trick in a major European final. And he was also named as Atlanta's player of the season. It's going to be interesting to see if he gets to the final 3. It will be really, really impressive. Even if he doesn't win it, which I doubt he's going to win it. I mean, there are folks like Vinicius Jr. I think there's also Toni Kroos also nominated there. So, I mean, there are other impressive players that have been nominated. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. I think this year is going to go to Vini. There are talks of Bellingham as well. I mean, a couple of players to look out for there. So, but when I saw this, I just felt so joyful in my heart. I was like, damn, this man has given has given a lot, and it's good to see him being rewarded for his efforts. And talking about players being rewarded for their efforts, another player who had such an impressive season too, 2 seasons ago, was Victor Osihmen. And his story doesn't end as good, or it doesn't get to where Lookman is right now. His story has kind of taken a U-turn or a curve in the past months. I'm talking about the Italy's highest, the Serie A's highest goal scorer. Took Napoli to win the Serie A. Took them to win also a cup in Italy. Everybody was talking about where is Osihmen going to go in the summer. And it's just so wild to see how everything happened over the summer. Like, even Nigerians on the internet turned their backs on Victor Osihmen. Hearing some of the news that came out in the last couple of days before the end of the transfer season, where he was supposed to go to Chelsea and he felt disrespected. And we were not even getting some of the gist as to what was happening. In fact, as we would hear later, that even Chelsea was putting out false narratives about him on the internet, as well as Napoli, who should even protect him. He has given them a lot, right? But they also did not do well by him. So it was really interesting to see how everything turned out and where he eventually landed. Right now, he's in Galatasaray. And it's interesting now that we know the story behind it. So someone actually, a journalist, spoke to him, and it was really interesting to hear that, one, Chelsea came with kind of like a lowball offer. They were discussing with Napoli without discussing with him, the player, which is just ridiculous. Right? So he felt disrespected there, and I can understand why you probably shouldn't be going there. Now, where everyone was thinking was going to go was Saudi Arabia, who were willing to pay a lot of money. But then Napoli kept refusing the offer. They kept refusing the offer. He had his agreements with Saudi Arabia, and it was good to go, now left to the club. But the club kept rejecting the offer. He was supposed to go to PSG. The club still rejected the offer. And then in the middle of all this, they didn't include him in the team for the season. the moment he told the coach Conte that he was going to leave the club, it's like they just turned their backs on him. And it's just interesting that one of the biggest strikers in the world today could not find a top tier European club to go to. It was just amazing. For me, when I heard this news, like everything that's been going on with him, I was kind of surprised, right? And I would not lie to you, I fell for some of the misinformation and disinformation out there about him, that both Chelsea and Napoli was winning. In fact, Chelsea came out with a statement which was very false at the time, but we found out later it was false, that he was asking for 500,000 pounds weekly, which was ridiculous. And I mean, I can understand why people would believe if that news is coming directly from Chelsea, the club itself, right? And because, you know, the folks at Chelsea, Americans, who just feel like the way they run things in America is the way it runs everywhere in the world, where you can just overlook the player and go and be discussing with the club like the players don't matter or they're just some piece of work out there. I can understand why he felt disrespected and rejected them. But eventually he ends up in Galatasaray where he is. And the thing is, the good news out of all of this is that he's going to be playing. He's on loan at Galatasaray right now. And what we hear now is he's going to be open to go to a new club in January. Clubs are going to be waiting to discuss with him in January. Now that, whatever is going on, Napoli has nothing to hide under now. If anybody comes for him in January, he's going to go. And the thing is, this idea that he goes somewhere because of the money, who cares? Everybody's going. Ivan Toney, an English player, is going to Saudi Arabia. And clubs like Arsenal were looking for him. But he's going to be taking $400,000 or £400,000 every week. He did a send forth. Like they threw a send forth party for him because they know how much money he's going to be making. Ronaldo has gone there. Top players have gone there. N'Golo Kante, one of the top midfield players, played for Chelsea, one of the top midfielders for France national team as well. He's in South Africa. He's in Saudi Arabia. Nobody's saying, oh, he's looking for money. But when it comes to African players, like there's just that sting of racism. It's like people must still show themselves. It's ridiculous, man. I wish Victor Osihmen all the very best in Galatasaray, and I know he will perform. Like the man just played for Nigeria this weekend. Like he put in a world-class goal, like a typical number 9 that we don't see very often today. Typical number 9 goal, power through that shot right there into the net, like a few minutes after coming in. So I am very sure very few defenders can contain him. He's got speed. He's physically strong. He's got really power on his shots, and he's got skill as well. And the thing is, sometimes even when he's not scoring, he's impacting the game just being on the field because he gives the defenders a lot of work to do. So I am very sure he's going to perform for Galatasaray. All things being equal, I hope he stays healthy, that he's able to perform and show the world who he is, that when January comes, the next transfer window comes, he's able to find a club to go to. He should be in PSG right now. Folks are wanting him to go to Chelsea, and I think he should be in PSG, where they kind of have things together over there. Because Chelsea is a mess of a place right now with over a whole NFL team of players where it's only soccer and you need 22. They have 40-something players over there. So I think the PSG is probably the best place for him. Also, even if he wants to go to Saudi Arabia, who gives a damn? He should go, make his money. Who cares? In the end, all these players are all playing for money, whether they're from Europe or they're from South Asia or whatever. Are they going to play without money, play on the highest level and not get paid? Nobody's saying the same thing about Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah, and Van Dijk, who are going to be a free transfer next year. Of course, they have not signed new deals because they want more money. If any of them go to any other clubs, they're going to be paid more money than they're being paid now. So it's not even about money now. Everyone wants more money, wants to be treated better contract. Ridiculous. Man, I wish Victor Osihmen all the very best. I fell for the misinformation as well. But it's good because I was scared that does that mean he will not be able to play at all because Napoli did not include him in the team for the season for the rest of the season. So it's good that he was able to find a club to go to and where he's going to be showing his skills there in Turkey. Talking about one of the best strikers in the world. Wherever it is, Turkey, England, Spain, France, he's gonna do his thing. Shout out to Victor Osihmen. Well, that rounds things off on the show for today. It feels good to know you guys are tuning in and listening out there. Please don't forget to follow on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. Is the No Stand Zone podcast, on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button and also like and share the videos as well. It's Tiae Sound, Tiae Sound on Twitter, as well as No Stand Pod on Twitter. Thank you very much. Please don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. Until next week, stay blessed.